Hi, it's Jane, and on today's WOTWIP and Coffee, I'm gonna do a little bit more knitting on these front pieces. A little ways more to go, so thought I would work on those with you. Of course, I've got to get things untangled and unsnarled and all that fun stuff. And of course, this is the time of year where we have a lot of staticness going on. Normally I have a humidifier going, but it's packed up, so I don't know if I'll be getting it out or not. It all depends. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Hope you had a good time, good feast, family, friends, whatever. I and my friend were invited out to one of our friends' homes for their Amish roast, is what they call it. And it's a chicken or turkey that is cooked in with the stuffing. And it's a pretty good dish. That is something that I'm kind of looking forward to. These people lived in Lancaster for a long time in the Mennonite Amish community. So they're very familiar with a lot of the meals, those kind of things. So that is something that they prepare a lot of. At least I'm assuming. Just because of knowing where they come from. But yeah, so my Thanksgiving was good. So anyway, so what are you guys working on? Are you looking forward to Christmas season coming up? Do you decorate? Do you go all out? Do you do all kinds of things? Have you done the Friday shopping? I no longer do that anymore. I don't find that the bargains are that good. And I don't want to be out there with the crowds. I was diagnosed with this, because I finally went in and saw the doctor about my cough. Actually, I'd gone in because I had to go do a urine test. And while I was in there, she saw that I was wearing a mask and she asked if I was okay. And I said, yeah, it's a little bit of a cold. Second time I've had it in about 2.5 weeks. So, and she said, well, why don't we just go ahead and swab while you're in there and check to see what it is. And she called back and she said it's something called the 100-day cough. What on earth is that? I don't know. I have no clue. I said, but I did notice that I have a zit on my earlobe here on the back. I'm like, I'm too old to be getting zits like that, especially on the earlobe. I mean, seriously, the earlobe? So, who knows? And I don't know why they call this the 100-day cough. I think what it is, it's some kind of virus. And she did tell me I'm not contagious. Don't worry about it. It'll resolve on its own. But if I have any trouble, difficulty in breathing and whatnot, to go to the ER or urgent care, whatever, to be seen about it. So, I don't know. I think it's like fifth disease. And those of you whose children have had fifth disease, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of those things where they don't really know what causes it, what happens, and why it does it. But with kids, when they get fifth disease, they get this funny rash all over their body. It kind of looks like roadways. It's the best way to describe it. They don't know what causes it. They don't even know where it comes from. They will They will tell you it's a virus, but who knows, right? And then got a notice out from church that there was someone who was exposed to chickenpox. And I'm like, already? Because normally that happens in the spring. And they pointed out the child did not have actual signs of chickenpox, but they were exposed to it. And for all they know, they may be a carrier. So they wanted to warn the parents and people that were in the nursery, in with the children, that was a possibility. So, it's been a crazy week so far, hasn't it? See, I still got that cough, and that's annoying. And the funny thing is, when I have the CPAP on, I generally pull my nose piece up, because I have a nose pillow. So I pull it up so I can cough. Otherwise, the air just goes back in the back of your throat, down your throat, and it feels funny. And it's sometimes difficult to cough with that CPAP on. So can't sneeze with it on because it won't allow you to. So crazy things have been going on. Have you been following the Doge department? Some of the things they've been cutting on waste. There's a funny commercial out called the Doge trailer, I think. That's what it's called. It's kind of funny talking about all the things about talking with all the federal government workers to see if their jobs are still relevant. It's funny. It's a funny video. But some of the things that they're cutting that we've been seeing are funny. Like the gravy. Thanksgiving gravy, consistency, that thing, the leftover food items from Thanksgiving, you name it, there's a lot of things. Stuffing, the different stuffing from different areas, the country, there's a department that studies those things. Got some crazy studies. And one thing that I think is funny is he's supposedly looked at the turkey pardoning committee, that there's a committee that finds the perfect bird to be pardoned. And his department has said basically turkeys don't commit crimes, so there's no reason to pardon them. Some of these things are awful cute, and I think they're tongue in cheek. I don't know if they are actual things, but it is the government, so there's no telling. It might be actual committees and boards that are doing these things and getting money every year, which is kind of wasteful. But one of them was I think the board about the Thanksgiving Day leftovers, that if you can't eat them, they should be allocated to someone who needs them. So some of those are funny, and I do think they're tongue in cheek. But then again, you never know. It might actually be. I mean, we do have a government that spends a lot of wasteful money on stupid things, So, yeah. And I saw one of the believe it was a Senate hearing, where they were talking with an official about by the end of the Biden administration, there's probably going to be about 500,000 children that are missing. They've come in as through the illegals that will go missing. And I think that's absolutely shameful. There's no reason for that. And, their theory, when they were talking with some of those officials, they're given a telephone number to contact them, and they try to call them 3 times. And if they don't reach them, it's no big deal. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Those are children that you released to people that were not their parents, or you thought were their parents. And the Biden administration stopped the quick DNA test. These were tests that were done to make sure that these children were going to people that were relatives in the U.S. already. Well, the Biden administration stopped that, which I'm not sure why they stopped that, because they were catching a lot of people that were sending children to people that they did not know. And we've got several eyewitness videos of children saying they don't know who they're being sent to. They basically were told that they could come here, they could work for more than $2 a day. They could probably make $6 to $7 a day, and they would pay off their people that brought them here by working for them. Does that sound like slave trade to you? It does to me. And I'm sure some of these children were stuck in sex trafficking in itself. America is the biggest consumer of sex trafficking. That is a sad statement about America. And many of these are children. So that needs to be stopped. There is a big movement among a lot of people that they want all the container ships, all the containers that have come through trucking lines, through truck stops, through everything, should be opened up to make sure there are no humans being trafficked that way, being moved. And as you know, many times we find out that humans are being trafficked in these big, truck containers once there's been a death or several deaths in that. And that's shameful itself. That should never happen. So you're seeing a lot of that is because people are asking for it to be done. I know that one of the things I would like to see the Trump administration do is to open up those records of all those senators, Congress people, who we have paid off money for their sexual deviancy, their sexual tryst, allegations, whatever it is. Those should be made public. And first of all, we shouldn't be paying for them. They themselves should be paying for them. But of course, if you get the government to pay for it, then you can't charge them with fraud the way that they did with Trump for paying off supposedly a porn star, which, if you followed the case with Stormy Daniels, she actually recanted and said there was nothing that ever happened between them to where she asked to repay him the money that he paid her. But people don't follow any further. They don't, they just do the 1, 2, and that's it, and they don't care about listening to anything else. And that I find frustrating. But he didn't do anything that John Edwards didn't do. I mean, when John Edwards was running for president, he did the same thing, paid off the woman that he had an affair with that was pregnant with his child. Of course, that's kind of a commonplace with some of these people that are in high up positions. But I do think as Americans, since they're using our tax money to pay for that, we should know what it's going for. That way we can determine whether we want to keep them in Congress or not. Because I'm one of those people that if I find out somebody's doing that kind of thing and we're paying off their lovers or whatever, or the claimants who have claimed these charges against them, we should know about it. And I'm sure that the claims that were made against Biden are in there as well. I believe there were 4 or 5 women that came forward and said he sexually assaulted them. So I'm sure that every one of those has been paid off through that fund. And I think we should know about it. I just do. I think it should be full transparency. And I do hope that they do put in some term limits. I don't know if you've watched lately some of these press events with Mitch Connell. That's a hard name to say sometimes. Where he just completely freezes up in the middle of a sentence, has this blank stare. Then you have somebody that has to come along and lead him away. I'm like, he's apparently having some issues, some TIAs or something, and he needs to be removed from office. Why isn't his wife making sure that he's removed from office? I don't know. Maybe she's ignoring it. I find that hard to believe, or maybe she doesn't know what's happening. Maybe she doesn't keep up with him when he's in D.C. Who knows? But that kind of scares me, all these people that are up there and aging, making decisions for us. Probably not wise decisions, And I really think there should be term limits. There are term limits for president. There should be term limits for our Congress members. So, they really need to stop their insider trading. We all know it's happening. I mean, you don't go there with a salary of 146 to 76,000 a year and become millionaires on that. You're doing something. And I'm sure a lot of it is insider trading. So they need to stem that kind of nonsense too. We live in a crazy world. Absolutely crazy world. I'm hoping to release the tutorial for the shawl this weekend. I'm running through it one more time to make sure that there are no boo-boos. And that pattern is free on my Facebook group under the files section. You can pick up that spring garden shawl. It's a PDF. And that's what I'll be doing the tutorial on. Of course, some of you don't read patterns, so that will help you in that respect. And then I'm starting filming the tutorial for the Boggy Creek blanket. I had planned on doing that earlier, but things just didn't work out because of all the things that I was doing. So I will be starting that one this weekend, starting to film it. Hopefully it'll go well without too many issues. At least that's my hope. You never know. Sometimes it gets a little crazy. But yeah, there are a lot of things that I'm looking forward to getting started and getting off and out of this house. Of course, one thing is I want to get my sweater finished. So I've been working on that, trying to get it finished, getting it taken off, and of course you got to find time to knit. Took a little break there, had a coughing fit. Kind of getting used to that kind of stuff. Like not to be used to it. Do have some more bags cut for some Christmas fabrics, those kind of thing. Also want to remind you that there are still bags that are 25% off in the shop through the 30th. And those are still available. I think all of them are listed. I may have to double check because I think some didn't get listed. Which, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you click on them and they don't get included in. And then, of course, there are some of those bags that I have that are in the on my Facebook group for Jane Wynn's Design. That if you go in and you look into the photo albums, there are drawstrings and tote bags that are still available, Halloween and Christmas. And those are pretty much a flat fee through Venmo or PayPal. Drawstrings are $15 plus $5 shipping. And the shipping's been running almost close to $6. And of course, the fee for PayPal and all that kind of stuff sometimes takes away from it. And that's okay. The tote bags are $20 plus $5 shipping. And they again run about $6 for shipping. And hopefully, once the new year comes around, for some reason, the camera just quit working. I don't know what's going on there. Who knows? I guess we'll find out later. It seems like it's been an issue lately, and I don't know what's going on. So, just going to keep continuing like normal. Moving on, getting things done. So anyway, those are $20 plus $5 for $25 for the totes. And a lot of the a lot of times after Christmas, the post office will reduce their prices for shipping again. So hopefully that will happen and will make it easier for everybody all the way around. I am working on some, sorry about that. I am working on some Christmas totes and drawstrings, and also some drawstring backpacks to add into the shop for the Christmas season. So we'll see what's available. I'm not really going out and shopping for a whole lot more Christmas fabrics because I have a ton of them. So I thought I would just use those up, you know. So I thought I would tell you about the little bit of thing I told you before on one of the other videos about the whole issue with the manger in our city, that the Downtown Inc., you know, they had changed some things. We're going to do a wintry or gingerbread mix something. And of course, in the town triangle, there were gingerbread, although they looked like bears to me the other day that were in the main scene of that. And there were a lot of people that had come together and had built a manger scene and, you know, expected it to be included because there was like a little bitty handshake with one of the past Downtown Inc. persons that it would be included there. But the new manager of the Downtown Inc. didn't think that that fit with the theme and thought it could go some other place, like maybe in front of a church or something else, or I don't know, around town, one of the other parks, and made suggestions about making a live nativity scene, that kind of thing, for people to come to. And she is trying to bring people into the city for, it's not really a city, it's a town, for the Christmas holidays, for shopping and, you know, just see the town, that kind of thing. Well, and she used the, in Williamsport, there's a place called, it's nicknamed Candy Cane Lane. Now, it is actually in Du Bois Town, which is just past South Williamsport. But the neighborhood there, for about 2 or 3 blocks, they decorate their houses with Christmas lights from Thanksgiving on through Christmas, and people drive through, people leave donations, people sell things. They're out there, you know, all kinds of things like that. So people come to see the lights and that kind of deal. And then, of course, in Wellsboro, PA, they have a whole thing that they do Christmas each year. It's Christmas in Wellsboro. And they do, there used to be a restaurant that did this big old, little bit of a skit with some actors, and they fed you a meal, and then you went downtown Wellsboro to see the decorations and to shop in the different shops, that kind of thing. So she was thinking that, you know, she could turn something into that for our city. But anyway, at the city council meeting, a lot of feathers were ruffled, and quite a few folks got pretty rowdy. And as one of my friends said, for being Christians, what they did was not Christian-like, the way that they behaved. And she was kind of ashamed of that. And so, but it did get passed, and the city put up the manger scene, and everything's good, I guess. I don't know. Although there was rumor that it was all knocked over that evening. But it wasn't. So yeah, it's just been rather interesting. The noise about it, and at least now she knows that when she sends out those invitations to the rest of the town, that she needs to make sure she sends out an invitation in October to this group. It's called the Ministerium, that had all come together, and it's like 7 churches, that had built the manger scene and was really pushing for it to be a centerpiece in the what's called the Triangle Park. It's shaped like a triangle, and during the summer they have concerts there. Sometimes they have demonstrations there. Sometimes people, have permits to do things there for like Pride Day and have vendors, those kind of things. During Christmas, there is the Santa's hut that's there for people to come and talk with Santa. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that go on downtown, but that was a rather interesting thing. Well, I am going to let you go. I know this is a short one, but I need to get some other things done. So I will see you again shortly. Everybody have a great week. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And by all means, share with me what your thoughts are about what I've talked about. Good or bad, doesn't matter. And I will see you again soon. Bye.